SoCal Filipinos, in partnership with FilAm Arts, proudly presents Filipinos in Dance with guests Dr. Arnel Calvario, Michelle Camaya Julian, LeeJ Razalan, hosted by Mecija. And now, please welcome Edmund Flores of SoCal Filipinos.
Good afternoon, everyone. This is Edmund Flores, one of the admins for SoCal Filipinos. Today, in partnership with FilAm Arts, we are excited to have all of you join us for today's event, Filipinos in Dance. It will be a wonderful conversation with our panelists, and I hope that those of you who are in dance or aspiring to take it to the next level in dance, that you feel inspired. It is my honor to introduce our host, moderator, Masiha. Masiha is with San Diego Team 10's investigative unit, and when she's not in the field, she is busy with the weekend morning team as a news and weather anchor. A California native, Melissa delivers news and weather information that is timely and relevant to local viewers throughout the San Diego region. And for those that don't know, Melissa knows a couple of dance moves herself, as she was also a member of Kaba Modern when she attended UC Irvine. Please welcome Masiha. Hey,
Thank
Melissa.
you so much. Hey, Edmund. I love this platform. Thanks so much for the great introduction. My dance moves are a little rusty, but I'm going to be introducing you to people who have fantastic dance moves, are really pioneers in this industry. So again, my name is Masiha. I am so happy to participate. Edmund, thank you so much for including me. Welcome everybody to this wonderful discussion here presented by SoCal Filipinos Facebook group and FilAm Arts. So we're just getting started. If you have friends that want to join us right now, share that link and let's go ahead and make this a great discussion this afternoon. Today we're going to hear from our panelists about their path, experiences, accomplishments in this field. So I'm going to introduce our panelists. They're going to say a quick hello and we're going to get right into it. So first of all, we have the one and only Dr. Arnel Calvario. He is founder of Kaba Modern, president of Culture Shock, and international member of the Kinjaz. Hey, Arnel.
Hey, Melissa. So good to see you, fam, and so great to be here. Thank you, SoCal Filipinos and FilAm Arts for having us.
All right, Arnel, we'll talk to you again in a moment here. Now I want to bring in Michelle Camaya Julian, who is a yoga teacher, dancer, as well as co-founder of KAMOCHIMETHOD. Hey, Michelle.
Oh my goodness, I'm so happy to be here on this platform, and I want to congratulate SoCal Filipinos. I know it just started in June and they have like 19,000 people on the platform. So congratulations, so happy to be here.
So happy to see you, and we'll talk to you again in just a second. And last but not least, I want to bring in LeeJ Razalan, who is managing partner of the Kinjaz. Hey, LeeJ. I think we have him coming up. Well, as we say, there's a little bit of technical issues here, but hey, you know what? It happens. We're going to go ahead and get started with our discussion right now. Again, I'm Masiha. Oh, LeeJ, there we go. Filipino time. Hey.
Hi, everyone. I don't know if you can hear me. I can absolutely not hear you guys, but my name is LeeJ Razalan, and I'm happy to see everyone.
All right, LeeJ, hopefully we'll kind of get to do some back and forth here. We'll work through all those technical issues and hey, we'll make it happen. We will improvise. That's what we do here. All right, again, I'm Masiha. I'm your host for today. If you have any questions, please put it in the chat. I'm seeing some people already commenting, so great to have some of you already joining us this afternoon. We're going to get straight into the questions because we're just going to make this an open discussion because this is all about Filipinos in dance, and we want to talk to these three people just about how they got into it and honestly what made them so successful. So we're going to go with question number one here. So all of you, you are still making a name for yourselves in the dance arena. How did you, first of all, decide to get into this field? We're just going to go in alphabetical order. We'll start with Arnel first.
Well, I grew up around dance because I'm a 70s baby. So, you know, it was in the streets, at the parks, at the family parties. dance was all around. I grew up actually doing cultural dancing. And then I made my way to connect to hip hop and all the funk styles as well, again, through my neighborhoods and my family parties and just the culture around me. So yeah, that's how I got into it. And then starting Cabo Modern, all of that started in college through the Filipino club at UCI, Kababayan. So kind of by accident, I asked a question, it was misunderstood, and then we had auditions, and there you go. The rest is history. But we were the Kababayan Modern Dance Suite.
Bro, can you hear this?
And then we were called Kaba Modern for short. Yeah, that's how we were created. So, and everything changed, I think, at that point. You know, from Kaba Modern going into you know, the community, like all these events being created. And who knew, you know, in 1992 that in the next decade, this whole community would be birthed. So yeah, we'll get into other stuff later, but that's kind of like my origin story. Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, and Cabo Modern's kind of what ties all four of us together. Let's go to Michelle. Hey, Michelle, tell us about your background. How did you decide to get in this field? Because your field's not only in hip hop, but a lot of other areas.
Yeah, at first when I got invited to be a part of this panelist discussion, I was like, are you sure I'm qualified to be a part of this platform? And because of the fact that I guess I've been dancing since I was 4 years old, I was, you know, this is the path that I've been leading since I was a little girl. And getting into Cabo Modern when I was in college, that was just like the cherry on top of it all. Being a trained dancer in ballet, in jazz, in modern, in ballroom, in hula, Tahitian, theater arts, partner work. Just being able to dance with people my age in college, and the music, right? The music is what got us moving. That was just like the gates of heaven open up for me. But yeah, so in regards to my history in dance, trained in all those technical styles.
And then LeeJ, hopefully, can you hear us now? A thumbs up.
I could hear.
All right, perfect. Yeah, we just basically are asking, how did you decide to get in your field and stick with it?
I decided to go into the field very late in life. I was like 21, senior in college already, and I had kind of like danced recreationally or for fun, but I never thought it would be something that you could actually turn into a career. And I did I went on an MTV show as a joke, and we ended up winning this MTV show called Say What Karaoke, like a single episode. And then we ended up winning like the best acts that they invited back at the end of that season in Southern California. And then they had kind of like this grand championship of every act that had ever won a season of that show. And then we ended up winning that. And this all happened while I was like still in school, still dancing with Cabo Modern. And I was then literally paid to travel and paid to dance. And I was just like, I'm gonna move to LA and see if there's something on the other side of this. And that is, yeah, the rest is kind of, as they say, history.
Yeah, and there was definitely something on the other side of it. We're going to go to the second question here. All right, so how did your parents react when you told them about your passion for dance? Was so strong that you wanted to pursue this as a field? Were they supportive? Were they a little hesitant? We know, hey, why don't you try to get into the medical field? But Arnel, maybe you have maybe a little bit of both worlds. But yeah, were your family supportive of your passion?
Well, first of all, I'm a big believer that none of us are just meant for one path. There's so many amazing things that make us extraordinary human beings, and we're all like a beautiful mosaic of many extraordinary parts. And so I was never meant to only do dance. I was never meant to only do the health field. I always saw myself doing both and finding the right balance of doing both. And so my mom was a rebel, actually. She was encouraged to go in the health field, but she would actually sneak out into the city and join talent competitions. And I never knew that until I was in Cabo Modern. And I understood now why she supported me, because she herself wasn't really allowed to the arts in the Philippines. And so when I explained my passion for dance and the health field both, I think she really it resonated with her. So I got lucky. But I always encourage other dancers, because that's the classic age-old thing. Like, my parents don't support me, they don't understand well. And then that's what I usually advise, is like, try to invite them into your world so they actually not only hear it, but they can see it, experience it, to understand why it's important to you. Because at least that's a pathway to the possibility of getting that support when they understand, so that's usually what I advise. But I myself got really, really lucky because my parents supported me. So
LeeJ, Michelle, whoever wants to jump in next.
I was very fortunate growing up by the fact that, being a little girl, I was just a ball of energy, uncontrollable energy. And my mom was like, I need her energy focused. So at the age of 4, she enrolled me in ballet. And it wasn't until later on in when I was an adult, I saw photos of my mom back in the Philippines, of her in like folk dance costumes and Hawaiian costumes. And this was in the Philippines. And my mom never shared her stories with me about her dancing over there. It was just me seeing photographs. And so that was a little bit of a tie on, she had her dance experience over in the Philippines, and she wanted me to experience a little bit of that joy and that creative freedom and just that camaraderie with a dance group. So I appreciated her support in really my whole dance career. And my dad never really understood what I was getting myself into. He was like, "Oh, you're going to be a physical therapist." And I was like, "No, not really." But it wasn't until he saw me performing on stage with like big productions that whenever we'd go to restaurants, he's like, "My daughter, she's performed in this show, and my daughter, this and that." So it was only later that my dad really understood what it is to be a performing artist.
Mm-hmm.
Can I just creep in really quick? I just want to say Michelle is one of the most brilliant dancers I've ever set my eyes on. And she can do almost every style. It's just like LeeJ. These two, I'm just so proud of these two, because she also was on a TV show as well and went really far in that. She's one of the most versatile dancers. And what I love about her is the soul of who she is comes through her movement, whatever genre it is. So sorry, I just had to throw that in there because I'm just so proud of her.
I love that.
And Melissa, we haven't seen each other in like decades, really. So this is like reunion, catch up time, all at once. Thank you, Arnel.
I know, yeah. I was, because they were asking when I danced in modern. I said, well, I was always in the back. I was never as good as any of you guys, but I danced with Arnel's brother. So it's just,
you were really good.
You're so nice. You're so nice. But thanks. Actually, we did have a question here. I want to get to LeeJ's answer in a moment, but someone asked if we're going to see some dance moves. And I don't think it's from me. I think it's from you guys. Are you going to be able to share any dance moves?
If people want to see dance moves, they could just flip to mirror mode and watch themselves dance. That'll be probably the best.
Well, there you go. And LeeJ, hey, how about you? Was your family supportive of your passion for dance?
My family's always been supportive of what I've just been about. I would definitely say they never understood dance. I don't think they even understand it to this day, even though I make a career out of it, to be 100%. And so it's more so like the energy of the relationship with the parent. I literally have done everything from, I mentioned how I transitioned from college to become and made the decision to move to LA to become a dancer. I remember literally sitting down with them and having one of my first adult conversations with my parents, letting them know, because they are doctors and nurses, and letting them know I am gonna move to I was gonna drop out of school and move to New York. That was my intent, and they were just we support whatever you want to do as a human, but it's not necessarily a path that we know. And when I kind of think about it too, like think about the journey of our parents, right? A lot of them that have come from across a whole nother like land and culture and heritage and background. And so I feel like their jump is far more daunting than even what we have served. So it's just, prolonging that legacy of being daring, if you will. But I would say they've always supported the person. I don't know if they've always literally understood what we do as dancers. Yeah. Maybe not Michelle though. I feel like Michelle they did.
Yeah.
Speaking of, there's just a couple shout outs. I want to just include some of our Facebook people watching on Facebook. Someone said, "Hi, Michelle, love you." Again, people are asking for your guys' dance moves, so we might have to hold you to that at the very end. Yay, Kaba alum. So again, you know what? It just kind of reminder that dancing is also a family, right? You know, it's intergenerational. So, I mean, that's also nice to see. I do want to ask, obviously, this year has been so difficult for so many people. When it comes to dance, how have you kept up with your projects? What kind of projects are you guys working on? Whoever wants to answer first.
Well, during the pandemic, my business, KAMOCHIMETHOD, we work a lot with pre-professional young dancers. And when the lockdown happened, my partner Karine, who's based in New York, she was like, we need to keep these kids creative, even if in their own homes. So we came up with these, you know, online platforms where they had to get creative. We gave them a scenario, we gave them a song, we gave them mentors, like people from the industry. We're talking Misty Copeland, John Celia, people established, you know, Camille Brown, people established in the industry who are able to use that time to keep the young artists creating and safe, and also being able to have them connect with a mentor as well. So proud about that project.
Arnel or LeeJ?
Well, for me, because usually I still work in my occupational therapy job, but usually during the summer is when I travel, and I usually attend competitions, I teach workshops. And because of everything was shut down last year, I actually was able to lift off a passion project, or actually I call it a purpose project, not a passion project, because it's aligned with my purpose, I think, that I was created on to do. And that's my leadership tools for the dance group. So I've been working with working with leaders from all across the world, dance leaders, whether they're studio owners, community leaders, choreographers, educators, aspiring leaders. I'm working on leadership tools for themselves to invest in themselves so they can serve who they're connected with in a meaningful and more powerful way. And so it's been really cool. I've worked with over 225 leaders from all across the globe, several leaders in the Philippines, which is always like super rewarding, from all over the Philippines, north, south, east, west. So that's been really rewarding, because I think in this moment of pandemic, while it is super hard and there's so much loss and healing and grieving that needs to be done, there's also a need for support and connection and opportunities to uplift one another. And so through this program, that's been the byproduct of people affirming themselves in their own words, but also connecting and feeling supported by other people. So that's been a dream project that's turned into a purpose project, and now I'll probably keep doing for as long as I can.
Awesome.
Yeah.
LeeJ, are you on mute?
Me?
There, I can hear you now.
Can you hear me?
Go for it. Yes.
I was saying that as a dancer, you understand terms like transition, right? Pivot, turn, the understanding of like freestyling, teamwork through choreography. I feel like this pandemic, if you will, has really empowered the dancer to be responsive to like the way of the world, but they've always been prepared from thematically in the language that they speak and which they understand. If they apply like these physical movement things to just minor integrations into their mentality and the way that they move. Like I've seen so many dancers through this pandemic move from I'm just going to be teach a class, be hired by a studio, be hired by a group internationally to come and teach, and that will be like my source of like income, if you will, or be hired by an artist to dance for X artists at fixed X rate, et cetera. But now it's like I'm seeing these dancers that are transitioning to these entrepreneurs, if you will, and understanding that their art is the brand, their dance is the brand, and being able to kind of like find sustainability through their own specific programs and their own specific art. And I think even within the wave of what that looks like and what that is going to help dancers to better identify themselves and distinctively differentiate themselves from other artistry pools and categories over time. And so I'm actually really happy to identify with the dancer spirit and the dancer mentality through this, because I'm just seeing dancers who are like a marginalized group in it of themselves in the artistic forms really be the ones that have been brewing all of the tools of what it takes to withstand what we've been thrown with. And I say yes, the pandemic side, but also the social justice side, because it is through dance that I've met, and my eyes have been open to so many different types of humans and so many different types of lifestyles, so many different other types of definitions of how people want to be seen and express themselves, and to be able to find that teamwork, that camaraderie, that still synchronized choreography, if you will, through it, is like one of those things I'm just like, dang, dancers be on this is good season right now for them. So yeah.
I love that analogy.
It's a nonstop hustle with creativity, and given the situation that we're in, everybody's learning how to adapt. And it's interesting how LeeJ brought up those dance terms that is embedded in us, in our body, in our cells, and how we move, how we think, that given this situation of like shutdown, lockdown, safety, precaution, care, all that, we're able to maneuver ourselves within it. And because we're of a creative spirit, we look outside the box. And don't get me wrong, there are people who are down in the dumps creatively, but also it's like you really have to persevere and really reach out to those that are speaking of your same language. And so that adaptability of dancers and performers, it's so vital given this time that we're living in right now, to stay inspired and to support each other during this time.
Yeah, I don't know how many times over the past years that we in our news stories we've used the word pivot, transition. I mean, and just what LeeJ said. I mean, you're absolutely right. I mean, that's something that dancers have to do anyways. So I mean, and you did touch about something that I wanted to ask all of you, is that you had mentioned that dancers, a lot of people that have moved into kind of an entrepreneurial spirit, trying to, figure out ways to be more creative. You guys are all also involved on the business side of dance. How do you make dance also something sustainable for you and your families? So whoever wants to answer that first.
I mean, I will start with this one, and it is simply, it's not just doing it like the dance thing, but it's literally just showing up. And that is so cliche and so simple, but there is a magic within the DNA and the culture of what dance is and what it represents, and the people that are attracted to it, that if it is something that you seriously want to continue to pursue, you're not going to know what the end product looks like. You're not going to know what that end person is going to evolve or mature into. But if you stay close enough to it, you will find a way to sustain And I am like literal living proof of that, because it's not that one formula fits every stage of what I was doing as a dancer. It's always been about the mentality and the language that I understood as a dancer, in addition, and pairing that with the energy and the synergy that you find within other dancers throughout the journey, if you will. There is something magical that is attracted to it, and you just have to show up and stay close to that energy.
Absolutely.
And Anjanette just chimed in, my dear friend Anjanette, who just opened up her own studio, Mariah Performing Arts, in the South Bay, San Diego.
Yeah.
So during this time, I just went to her grand opening. So Anjanette, we're all here to support. Incredible human being. And she says, yeah, dance is a business.
Yeah, and actually, I knew when her name popped up, I said, that sounds familiar, because my coworker did a story on it, because she just opened it recently here in the South Bay. So congratulations to you, Anjanette. I mean, hey, you know, people are making things happen even during this difficult time. I didn't know if anyone else had anything to pipe in on the last question before I move on to the next one.
I just wanted to say it also starts with everyone understanding that they have value, right? That every person on this earth has value, and that's extraordinary value at that. And so I've been encouraging people, like when you think about businesses, a lot of them have a mission statement. So I've been actually working with all my leaders to write personal mission statements, because it's a personal check-in on who you are, how you see yourself in the world, who you serve, what you intend or are doing, and what are the values and belief systems that make all of that come to life. And so I really recommend people writing a personal mission statement, you know, especially as an artist, because it's like LeeJ said, that the expression of how it comes out from the root of who you are, there's value in all of that. And that can be monetized, of course, but more important than monetizing, it's like, if you understand your value and you believe in your value, then that's how other people are going to believe that you have something valuable to offer. Right? So I really love walking people through it. And I had to practice what I preach, because I had been preaching it for a while, but I didn't actually do it myself until 5 years ago. That's part of my problem. Is like, I'm so into serving, but sometimes I don't serve myself. But once I went through the personal journey of crafting my personal mission statement, it's become my moral compass. And it's also helped me understand things I've outgrown and things I'm growing into. So totally recommend that to anyone, you know, that wants to align themselves with their purpose.
Great. Now I feel like I need to write my mission statement right now, because honestly, I never even thought about that. But that's just a great way, like you said, to gain focus about, you know, what it is. And a mission statement's more than just that thing that you click on the website that says about us. So great advice there. Michelle, I didn't know if you had anything you wanted to add.
Well, with Arnel and LeeJ speaking on this, just the three words that come to mind, and maybe a fourth word, is faith, right? We all have that faith about something greater. And then the practice of whatever that faith is, the continued practice, the showing up, not knowing where it's going to lead you, but the showing up from that faith. And then the study of it to delve a little bit deeper into all the nuances. And with all of that, just continuing on that path, faith, practice, study, you're living it. You're living it.
Mm-hmm. And someone here on Facebook just said, you guys are all so inspiring. And honestly, I mean, just sitting here listening to all of you really accomplish what it is you wanted to do in the dance world, it really is inspiring. And I hope the people listening to this and watching it are getting some tips and getting inspired themselves. You know, the title of this talk is Filipinos in Dance. So how do you incorporate the Filipino culture into your work and what it is that you do?
Well, I've been a part of Samahan, Filipino American Performing Arts and Education Center. Whoo, all in one breath. And it's a 47-year-old nonprofit dance company in San Diego. And I've been a part of it since 8 years old. And incorporating Philippine culture Well, we're all about maintaining traditional dance now and representing the underrepresented in the Philippines, and the cultural bearers that we have been resourcing. Like, we have so many resources in the Philippines through my friend Dr. Bernard Ellerin, and with Pakarigayan Kuringtang Ensemble. So we're connecting with resources in the Philippines, and we're asking them, like, how are we able to represent your culture back here in the States? So always tying it back to communicating with them. So yeah, for me, Philippine cultural dance is just a part of my DNA. And so I teach that. I teach that every week to the Samahan junior dancers, and that's something that I'm very proud to keep going, because it can get lost. It can get lost, being that we're all like second generation now. There's third generation. So just being able to have the kids have a knowledge of the music, of the dance, of the costuming, of the language, is just an incredible place to be, and to be able to share that.
Awesome. LeeJ or Arnel?
I think growing up also doing cultural dancing, there's and also visiting the Philippines and feeling that culture of interdependence, which contrasts, the American ideal of independence. That's actually the fiber and root of Kaba Modern and all the groups that came after it, is the sense
PCN.
of PCN, right? We never consider ourselves a crew. We were always known as dance families from the very get-go, and that's building on the concept of interdependence. And now, in the past year, as I dive deeper into like our culture, our heritage as Filipino Americans, the whole concept of kapwa is something that is so, I realize has been there all along, and now I use that word a lot, especially when we're talking about intersectional experiences. But through the lens of Filipino culture. So I think that the kapwa is also a part of our dance culture, and now giving word and talent to it is helpful. Even like touching upon social justice and being proud of who we are, but also being proud of who we are in connection to everyone else around us too.
Mm-hmm. And then let's go to the next one. We got just a few more shout outs here. People saying appreciate those who appreciate the love and life of dance. And that would be all three of you, of course. Who are some of your idols? Who did you look up to or still look up to in the dance community? Putting you all on the spot.
For me, it was the people growing up. For instance, there's this dance photographer, Lois Greenfield, and she made a calendar of black and white photos of just dancers embracing themselves and in these like really amazing positions. And it wasn't until years later when I was performing in The Lion King, and I was looking at some of my castmates, and they looked familiar. And it's because this whole time I was looking at their photos on my calendar from years back, and here I was performing with the people that I idolized in the photographs. I was on stage with them. So it's basically our peers, people that you see giving 100% on stage, 100% in rehearsals, 100% face-to-face. Those are the people that I admire. People who are not afraid to be vulnerable, who are able to share their trials and errors so that you can learn from them. I have amazing mentors. And yeah, it's just, you look around at the people that give 100% and you're like, I want to learn from you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And who are some of your idols, LeeJ, Arnel?
Well, growing up for me was like Mr. Wiggles. Don Campbell is a personal mentor, the creator of an art form called locking, which was actually created in LA. He was a personal mentor. May he rest in peace. He just passed away last year. I loved Media Circus and Electric Boogaloos. But I joined Michelle in saying that the people that I admire, I respect, and I'm continued to be in awe of are a lot of my peers, a lot of people around me as well. Like people in Kinjaz, including LeeJ, you know, alumni like Michelle, people who've been in the community, pouring themselves into their art, into their community with purpose, and also extraordinary flair and honesty and courageousness. I mean, being brave, you know. So yeah, so I think as you get older, you choose your company a little bit more. You're a little bit more picky about who you choose. And so if I'm still involved, and that's like Kaba Modern, Culture Shock International, and Kinjaz, it's because I admire, and those people help me become a better person, you know? So yeah, so I'm like Michelle. There's people before me, and there are people around me right now. Those are the people I admire.
Can I just interject? When Dr. Arnel mentioned Mr. Wiggles, it brought up that memory of, I think it was a VHS tape that was circulating through Kaba Modern in the 90s. And we're watching that one Rocksteady Crew moment, and everybody's like, oh, like mind blown. Do you remember that VHS tape that was circulating?
Yes.
I think, like, was it from Chris Wang or something?
Yeah, Chris Wang had all the goodies. We had a lot of Mr. Wiggle goodies.
Oh, next level.
And for some of the people tuning in who don't know what a VHS tape, it's this thing. It's probably about this big. You put it in this machine, and it plays a tape. So just for people, what is that? So that's what a VHS tape. Some people might be. The first time my kids saw it, they thought, "What kind of book is this?" So I had to explain it. But yeah, that's things have changed. You know, LeeJ, anyone that comes to mind when we're talking about idols or people you look up to?
Yeah, a lot of people, I'm not sure if they know, but like Bruce Lee, when he was actually forming his style as a martial artist, he was also the Cha-Cha champion back in Hong Kong. So he has like really strong dance roots. The one and only Bruce Lee. I would also mention to say Michael Jackson is so obvious, so iconic, but I really resonate with what Michelle and Arnel were saying with the current peers. You know, I would say also, in addition to the current peers, like, you know, and for me, it is like the folks that I run with. But there's also like this newer generation of these like younger dancers that I absolutely look up to.
Oh, wow.
You know, and someone that I work with very closely is Logan Edra. She's from San Diego as well.
Yeah.
She goes by Logistics, and she's just someone that like this generation, this world, like all generations really need to take in, listen to her message, understand, because what she does on stage is amazing. What she represents as far as message and her voice to articulate and the way she processes the world is one of those things where you're like, yeah, it's just supremely inspiring. So I would say like this younger generation as well is I look forward to what they have to offer.
And what would you say, you guys, to people who, all right, they want to take that next step into making dance a career, like what all three of you have done and are doing? What's some advice, some tangible steps to making it happen?
I think for sure, and actually Michelle already mentioned it earlier, it's really beneficial to have a mentor, and you should have multiple mentors for multiple reasons, you know, dance, you know, just personal growth. But also one thing that I've learned over time too, is there are so many dance art forms. And so a lot of times we just go right into learning choreography, but it's nice to explore different art forms. So, you know, whether that's jazz or locking or boogaloo or breaking or vogue or whacking or locking or house, they're all born from a certain spirit and essence, born and created to a certain kind of music. And so when you like kind of explore and see these different art forms, you can kind of see which ones speak to who you are as a human being, what your lot is going on in your life. You know what I mean? Because there's parts of you that have joy and there's parts of you that need healing and have struggles. And so when you learn all of these art forms and you explore, just like when you're exploring like different career paths, right? You should do the same thing with dance. Explore, try all these different art forms, and then so that you have a greater chance of bumping into the right combination of art forms that speak to who you are as an extraordinary human being in this world. You know, and so for me, it's locking, it's 80s, 90s party dancing. I only like performing because I'm more of a communal dancer. It's in connection with other people. So when it comes to performance, you know, I even know that about myself. I don't like solos. I don't like being in the front center. I just like being amongst. And then the two art forms that meet my soul right now, because yes, I'm in my 40s, but I'm still studying dance and gifting it to myself. But I've been labbing with house and light feet because those ones are calling to my spirit of who Arnel is in his 40s. You know, the part of me that wants freedom, you know what I mean, that wants connection and doesn't want to be judged. That's house. And then light feet is like it kind of connected to 80s, 90s party dancing, but with the new music. So yeah, that's my hype and that's my soul now too. I think a lot of dancers get into trouble because they fall into art forms they're expected to do. But how you reach excellence is when you're doing the art forms that really are you, not art forms that you're supposed to be, or that's the fad or the trend. You're doing the art forms that they are who you are. And so LeeJ mentions Logan, great example of someone who is committed to the art form that she is to a very high level. So it's an expression of who she is and what her soul came here to do.
Awesome.
It's amazing the type of genres and techniques that are out there right now, because growing up it was very specific, very in a box, right? Ballet, jazz, modern, and so forth. And now it's just like so much creative expression. For me, it's like train, put the hours in and train with the best, right? Be challenged, step out of your comfort zone. Growing up, being trained, it's not easy. It's very strict, and you got to put the hours in, and that's all I could say. Like put yourself out there, stay busy, stay connected to all types of, genres, and contribute in a joyful way, show up on time, be a joy to work with, try not to complain as much, ask questions, but just be that in your group, wherever you put yourself in. But yeah, I say train, put the hours in, and train from the best.
Mm-hmm.
Very true. And LeeJ, anything to add that Michelle and Arnel didn't say?
Okay, at its most basic level, like
Opus!
Oh wow,
John Varela in the house.
Respect.
He's a legendary Kaba DJ, just
Yes.
DJ in general, but very instrumental
Opus.
in Modern's journey.
Opus one.
Yeah, I'm supporting you guys.
Yes.
Yeah, I just think there's so many entry points, right? And so I 100% agree with both of them, and as simple as finding a reference point that you can become obsessive and disciplined around, and or finding a friend that has a similar desire for the thing that you want to express, because like Opus One DJ, right? Like, and but he kind of like revolutionized the way music was presented for dancers specifically, right? Outside of like just dance music, it was like dance music, right? And so it's just like the same expression, but there's a nuance to it, and he brought that variance to it. And so it's just like there's so many entry points, and this is that generation, this next generation, I believe, and the generations to follow. This is the absolute time where you could reach out to like what or I'm sorry, Michelle was saying, you can reach out to those, and Arnel, like the mentors, the masters, and they will respond to you in this generation. You have access to them right now. So if you're really, really about it, you'll do the work to reach out.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you know, do the work, I think, in any field too. And I'm a firm believer is that no one gets anywhere in this world by themselves. We all had someone to support us and lean on or help us get through those, you know, difficult times. So great advice for anyone who wants to continue to pursue dance as a career. Someone just commented, thought I'd want to share this with you, is that since you revealed your ages, it looks like dance is the fountain of youth, which there you go. I agree with.
Good lighting.
And good light, yeah. Get that ring light, you know, from Amazon. Just get a cheap one, and it works. I do want to open up to questions. We have a few more minutes. I don't know if did I ask you guys if you could share some of your future projects or anything exciting that you have going on coming up that people should keep an eye out for, or is it all a secret?
Yeah, I got lots of secrets. I'll just put it that way. I'm gonna put myself on mute. I got lots of secrets, but dances, yeah.
Someone did ask, Michelle, what was it like to compete on a reality dance show competition?
Oh, he had to bring that up. Well, it was an opportunity that came my way, and it was the same producers as Project Runway and Top Chef. It was on Bravo, and we're talking 2007, right? Not a lot of people in reality shows and all that. I can't believe I did a reality show, by the way. But it was a platform for me to just share my love of dance and my versatility of dance. So I went into it, even though it was a competition and I'm not so much of a competitor than a performer. It was just an opportunity, and no regrets. I loved every moment. I befriended so many people. I mean, you got Miguel Sarate in there. You got Janelle, a lot of people, Michael Silas, James, like everybody went on to having fabulous, wonderful careers after that show. So yeah, it was just a beautiful opportunity to share what I love to do.
And curious, because I've never been involved in the reality show aspect of TV. The other two, you also have some experience. How is it for people who have never gotten a sneak peek into that world? Out of curiosity, how reality is it?
It's wild. Well, Kaba Modern was on the first season of America's Best Dance Crew, and that was good. We had nothing to go off of in terms of asking people what it was like to go into that kind of format. So it was wild, but also it was exciting. And I remember when Kaba Modern was on the first season of America's Best Dance Crew, we just wanted to represent our community, our dance family, and also expand the stereotypical face of hip hop to include Asian Americans also, you know. And after that, seeing Michelle succeed on the show, because like LeeJ mentioned, that wasn't the first time we were on. I mean, we saw LeeJ and the three of them on Say What Karaoke, and then maybe you saw one person on the Fly Girl, right? So that's pretty much it. So the success of the show is visibility, in my opinion, of just letting people know that this is possible for you. But it's also a television show, so after other teams are on, you know, because LeeJ and I help manage the Beat Freaks. I managed the Fanny Pack. Kinjaz was on there too. And LeeJ, you know, helped the job of walking. You learn to also understand it's a television show, and so how can you make the most opportunity with that moment to support the other things you have going on, because it is a television show at the end of the day. You know?
Hurry up and wait.
I feel like when we got more skilled at that, we understood the possible benefits of being on the show. And yeah, I want to give LeeJ props because he is the mastermind of that system. I learned a lot going through those with LeeJ. So, you want to speak on it?
I could just say anything that's on mainstream media has politics tied to it. So if you want to do the reality show, do the reality show with the realistic understanding that there are politics behind the scenes to it. So use it to your advantage. Use that knowledge to your advantage.
Oh, someone is asking, is there an archive of performances from back in the day, the 90s, that folks can see for the first time, reminisce about? Is there a place? I know that there's random videos on YouTube of the old Kaba Modern days. Where would we find all of this hidden material?
Well, on YouTube, if you look up Michelle Camaya, I did do this Cisco shakedown thing for MTV back in the day.
Yes.
And it was one of those things where it's like the opportunity came my way. Do you want to be a part of the Cisco shakedown? And I was like, yeah, go ahead. And it actually led me to having jobs afterwards. I didn't get paid to be a part of the Cisco shakedown, but choreographer Showtime was backstage. He lost a dancer for the MTV Awards, and he was like, we need you to dance in one of our music videos that was directed by Hype Williams. And then afterwards, dancing with the other dancers, they gave me another opportunity to dance with like R. Kelly and another music video. Not R. Kelly.
Yeah.
What's his name? Not R. Kelly.
R&B? Was that R&B artist?
Oh my gosh.
Joe
it will come to you.
It will
Usher
come to
was
me.
there back in the day. Brian McKnight.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, it'll come back. But yeah, so one thing leads to another. So you can look up stuff on YouTube, yeah. But I'm not sure about Kaba Modern. Is Kaba Modern?
Yeah, you can. Kaba Modern has its own YouTube channel. I think even Kinjaz has some. You just literally have to type in the year. I've uploaded a bunch also on my YouTube channel. You have to, if you want the 90s, you can type in, Kaba Modern 1997 or one of the other groups. But it is up there. But like LeeJ, like some people were saying in the chat, a lot of it originated on VHS tapes. So those are just be wary that the quality is VHS quality, but it's there.
Yeah,
8-bit. It looks like 8-bit.
I did show my kids one video of me because no one believes me, but they're like, why is it so fuzzy? I was all, well, that's just how it was. We have a few minutes left. Where can people find you if they want to follow your work or what it is you do? Blast out all your social media, websites, all of that.
Can we type it somewhere?
Oh, can we? I don't know.
Yeah,
I
for
guess
me
we
it's
can
pretty
share
easy.
it later.
You could just follow the Kinjaz if you want to see some work. If you want to hit me up direct, you can hit me up on Instagram. It's just my last name. It's a private account, so you just gotta let me know who you are, actually. or you are getting in to. Anyways. Oh, there you go. Thank you, FilAm Arts.
I remember the name, Keith Sweat. How
Keith
can I forget
Sweat.
Oh my God, Keith Sweat.
Keith
Sweat. Way better than R. Kelly.
Yeah, no R. Kelly videos over here. Keith Sweat video.
Glad it was Keith Sweat. That's good. Arnel, where can people find you?
If you want to email me, it's arnel@kinjaz.com. And my Instagram is just my first and last name, just Arnel Calvario, @Arnel Calvario. Yeah, I'm really mostly active on Instagram. So.
Yeah, and for me, my business KAMOCHIMETHOD, Kamochi, KAMOCHI method. That's on Instagram. And now we host a lot of yoga retreats. And like I said earlier on, we do dance intensives for pre-professional young artists. And yeah, so we're planning on having a yoga retreat and all that good stuff for health, for fitness, for wellness, for getaways. That's what I'm doing right now.
Perfect. I love it. So we can find everyone and what they're doing on social media. As far as me, I got to plug my own station. If you guys are all, whoever's watching in San Diego, I'm on the mornings. So I wake up at around 1:30 every weekend morning. So I'm working tomorrow morning. So you can tune in and help keep me employed. So that would be great. I know that Giselle has a few words to say to wrap things up. But I honestly, it's just been such a treat because for people watching who don't know, I mean, honestly, you guys are such legends, and just to hear you share your stories, to be so open about it, I feel so honored to have an hour of your time just to share your projects and really inspire other people to dance and just to continue doing what they love. So again, thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
All
Thanks for
right, and I think Giselle, did you have a few words to say to talk about FilAm Arts? Do. Hi. Oh, can't hear you.
Thank you. Sorry, I've been doing tech this whole time.
I know, it's been amazing. Thank you so much. I love it. I've never used this platform before, and I think it's great.
I just want to say on behalf of FilAm Arts, we are so proud of what Dr. Arnel, LeeJ, and of course Michelle are doing, and also what you're doing, Melissa. You know, I'm a firm believer that as a Filipino American, we have to amplify everything that we're doing. We have to support our community. And so on behalf of FilAm Arts, if you like what the conversation that you're seeing, we encourage all of you to support our Filipino American artists. We support them by following them on Instagram. If they have shows, if they have broadcasts, share what they're doing, and really amplify the messaging and the talent, the amazing talent of our community. They say that if you don't see people that look like you succeeding in these spaces, you'll never know that it's possible. So I just want to say thank you to Michelle, to LeeJ, to Arnel for leading the way, paving the way. And as they say, you know, Filipino parents don't really raise their children to say, anak, be a dancer, right? Um, but the fact that Arnel, Michelle, LeeJ, and so many others have forged that path just goes to show that it is possible for so many others. So on behalf of FilAm Arts, I want to say thank you for the opportunity to be able to work with SoCal Filipinos. And I also encourage all of you, if you would like to see more of these talks, please consider donating to FilAm Arts. FilAm Arts is a 501c3 nonprofit organization based in Los Angeles. Please go to our website, which is www.filamarts, and I'm typing it as I'm saying it, .org, and you can donate whatever you can, $5, $1. But what that helps us do is be able to really showcase all of these stories and bring this out to the universe. So maraming salamat to all of our speakers. We're going to bring them right back on with you, Melissa, to say goodbye to everybody. And on behalf of FilAm Arts, maraming salamat po sa inyong lahat.
Melissa?
Can you hear me? Oh, hello? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, hi, I'm back. Okay. Yeah, we'll do a quick wrap here, but as far as I just want to say again, thank you guys so much, especially during this past year with the arts missing, you know, for a good amount of time. It definitely made me miss it, you know, not having the live shows, the theater. So I just encourage everyone tuning in to support the arts, support, you know, the diversity. And if dancing is your passion, these three people are living proof that you really can make things happen and follow your dreams. So Michelle, Arnel, LeeJ, thanks again so much. And any closing words that you guys want to say to people watching?
Yeah, thank you, Jason, Edmund, and Giselle for putting this together. Thank you for all of the Filipinos that actually tuned in and the non-Filipinos that tuned in.
Yes.
And
Hit
for
Arnel
those who are
up.
going to
He will
tune
give you
in
a
later
great
on.
Go ahead, Michelle.
And for everyone who's going to be tuning in later on, we're always here as resources. Feel free to reach out to any and all of us with any questions that may come up. Thank you.
Yeah, I just want to again thank everyone for being here. Thank FilAm Arts and SoCal Filipinos, all our friends at both organizations for hosting this event. And to anyone tuning in again, just know that you have value, you matter, and the more you commit to that, the more you will make your stamp in the world in the most powerful and purposeful and amazingly beautiful way. So much love to everyone.
Wow. Thank
I
you,
love
Melissa, too.
Yeah,
Thank you, guys.
amazing.
I feel like I was
Woo,
on the news
Melissa.
the entire time, like a 1-hour news segment.
There, yeah, and you guys all did flawless work. So no, it was such a treat to see all three of you in one space. So thanks for devoting your time and your words of wisdom. And when I say that it was inspirational, I'm not like lying, because now I want to dance and write a mission statement all at the
Yes.
same time and sign up for classes. So thank you again. And again, thank you to SoCal Filipino, FilAm Arts. And we're about done. So I hope everyone has a great weekend. Bye.
Bye.
I'll you again, Giselle, FilAm Arts for all the behind the scenes magic. Thank you again to Arnel, Michelle, LeeJ, and Melissa for your time. This was an awesome hour, really inspiring. And you know what? Be on the lookout in our group, SoCal Filipinos, for upcoming events later this month and April. Can you believe we're almost halfway through the year? This is crazy. But again, on behalf of SoCal Filipinos, thank you for watching, and I will see you at our next workshop. Have a wonderful weekend, everyone. Thank you for your time.